Orgasmic enlightenment, where the sexual and spiritual come together. I'm Kim Anami, and I'm a holistic sex and relationship coach and a vaginal weightlifter. In this show, we explore all things intimate. I believe that our sexual energy is life force, creative energy, and we can use it to shape our worlds, strengthen our relationships, and self-actualize. I blend the most avant-garde information from neuroscience, ancient sexual practices like Tantra and Taoism, to renegade wellness modalities to show you how to create gourmet sex in your lives. Come one, come all. Perimenopause is a scam. I have often said that menopausal women are allopathic medicine's biggest cash cow. Turns out I'm 100% right, as usual. In the last few years, the age of menopause has been magically extended to include women in their 40s and now even in their 30s. I have spoken with 20-something women who talk about being targeted to start being aware of the tragedy that is about to befall them. I have spoken about how menopause is a manufactured condition circa 1963, created by an OBGYN called Robert Wilson and his pals at the pharmaceutical giant Pfizer, which was called Wyeth at the time. Before that, if you speak to your grandmothers and if you had access to your great-grandmothers, they would not know what the fuck you were talking about. Their periods stopped at some point, so what? With the invention of menopause, a pseudo condition developed and co-founded, and most importantly, co-funded by Pfizer, Wilson was backed and sponsored by Big Pharma to educate women about how their lives were about to be over, and the only thing that could save them would be drugs. Drugs, 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 every day until the day they died. Drugs. So here's the thing. The story that women have a certain amount of hormones and then they run out, they get old, and then they die miserable deaths because their bodies forgot to make their hormones for them. Fear not, but we can sell them to you from the hormone shop. I am always skeptical of allopathic advice telling people that there is no solution to your problem except drugs forever. And of course, cutting out organs in a ritual sacrifice. The real problem is that women have cut out their orgasms. If the theory is that women's reproductive hormones are amiss, then I have the perfect solution. Use them. Use those fuckers. Have sex. Have lots of orgasms. And you and your body will produce all the hormones you need. What always shocks me in the menopause sales pitch is the idea that women's bodies are so inherently stupid and flawed that they cannot survive without being heavily medicated forever. Doesn't it make more sense that the solution is actually inside you? I've heard as part of this narrative that the reason why women need HRT is because we live longer than we used to. Who told you that? According to our written history and that book, a lot of people consider to be gospel, we actually lived much longer in the past, like hundreds of years longer, even to 4 figures longer. So if that's the case, then our hormones ought to be good for the long haul. I'll go through some other contributing factors to these conditions, but the biggest answer to this peri and menopause epidemic is that well-fucked women do not get menopause, or at least they do not get this laundry list of symptoms women are brainwashed to believe is a normal part of their existence from age 40 or now 30 onward. In Anami Land, well-fucked women, including me, are orgasming, lubricating, and ejaculating their way through these supposedly oh-so-tragic years. No symptoms, no hot flashes, no dryness, no brain fog, no sleepless nights. Well, correction. We do have many a sleepless night, but that's from another kind of hot. The hot sex that would actually heal these women. Well-fucked women generate their own pleasure hormones, which easily wipe out hormones like cortisol that often steal from the reproductive hormone network if a woman is living in a perpetual state of stress. Her sex hormones are being built from within. That's it. There isn't some finite supply that women suddenly deplete and now they have to buy at the store. I've got all the well-fucked, HRT-free women in Anami Land to prove it. These women either go through the transitions of menopause with no exogenous hormones, or they go off the hormones they were once on. And if they are getting well fucked, they do not get any return or experience of these menopause symptoms. So what's happening to these women in their 40s and possibly even their 30s? Why are they suffering so much? Apart from being severely underfucked, and I guarantee that every single one of them is, from these meno-ho quack doctors to the celebrities that have taken on the cause of buying bottles of lube, let's see what else is going on. Why is it so easy to convince these women that their bodies are eternally broken? In a sense, they are, because of what they've done to them and what they let be done to them. Number one, women have been on hormonal birth control since they were teenagers. They have been put on it sometimes before even getting their periods. First off, hormonal birth control, according even to the WHO, is a group 1 carcinogen, which places it in the same category as radium and asbestos. So why doctors continue to prescribe a known carcinogen is beyond me. In addition to the danger of these drugs is the impact of interfering with a woman's natural hormonal flow. It takes about 2 years for a woman, or let's say a teenage pubescent girl, for her cycle to establish itself without the influence of these exogenous substances. And really, when you think about it, how could her hormones ever learn to function properly if they've never had to? They don't. So girls get on the pill, they never ever experience a natural cycle, and their hormones never ever have to work properly because they've always been overridden with fake ones. So at some point, these women decide that they want to get pregnant, and so they go off the pill. And then they can't get pregnant. Shocker. Their bodies know nothing about how to make reproductive hormones because they've never made them. So then they do IVF, which further fucks with their hormones. Let's say they manage to have a test tube baby or twins or whatever. Then they reach the midlife window, which now could be in their mid-30s. They are having additional hormonal issues. Again, shocker. So in order to mask the later in life issues these women are having, who have been taking false hormones since they were teenagers, they've coined this term peri-menopause. Number 2 reason is stress. If a woman is living in acute stress or has become accustomed to living with chronic stress, these states deplete her reproductive hormones. Low-level, constant stress could be someone who has unresolved trauma that they've never dealt with. It could be subsisting in a relationship that has run its course and staying in it anyway. Any condition that causes a woman to keep her guard up in any way creates chronic stress. Unhealed wounds create a low-level stress or even PTSD state. We use terms these days like unregulated nervous system, when the body, mind, and emotions have been carrying a load they've never been able to properly discharge. We maladapt to the stress. I don't think most people have any idea that their symptoms are chronically stressed in this way. And ironically, the number 1 remedy for discharging stress and resetting the nervous system is orgasms. Deep, soul-nourishing, rebirthing vaginal orgasms. Your stress hormones borrow from your sex hormones. If you never get a chance to give your stress hormones a rest, you are living in a continual deficit. Not only do you develop varying degrees of adrenal fatigue, but your entire hormonal system rejigs, trying to compensate for this strained output. Your reproductive hormones will be the first to go because your body knows that this isn't a good time to reproduce, and so they get begged, borrowed, and stolen to fill the gaps. And beautifully, the first thing that oxytocin does in the wake of a deep orgasm, it floods your system and it wipes out cortisol. Being happily well fucked is the best anti-stress and nervous system reset there is. Hands down. Haha. Nothing beats it. If you are constantly in some kind of stress, whether it's acute or low-level, constant, chronic stress, your body never gets the chance to take its focus off making stress hormones and on making your reproductive ones. Reason number 3, a lifelong buildup of accumulated issues, behavior patterns, and emotional toxicity. The piper always has to be paid. If a woman is suppressing her true self and hasn't had a heal as you go policy in her life, then she's got a big pileup of stuff that hits a tipping point. Whatever kind of hormonal transition happens in this whatever quasi-midlife stage for women, which what I see would normally just be a reconfiguration, a different kind of organization, we have to assume that she is built for this transition. It's not some random mistake that nature forgot. Oh my God, we didn't give women the right amount of hormones for half of their lives. Good things human invented some. Seriously? Fuck off. It's kind of like God forgetting to cut off baby dicks before boys are born. Oops-a-daisy. Good things humans have machetes where they can sexually abuse and mutilate little boys, traumatizing them for life on the first day of them being born. Again, seriously? Fuck off. What ought to be a seamless transition in a healthy, well-fucked woman becomes a critical tipping point if she doesn't practice some kind of ongoing emotional hygiene. She probably already has difficult periods and other reproductive maladies as a result. The transition and the tipping point of meno whatever just pushes things over the edge. It seems easier to take a magic pill from the menopause fairy than to roll up your sleeves and take off your pants and do the deep, and by that I mean the cleansing and therapeutic power of cervical orgasms, inner work. Yes, your vagina and orgasms can heal you. They are meant to. Check out my episodes Fucking is Better Than Therapy, Season 4, Episode 21, and My Vagina Healed That, Season 6, Episode 6. Your body is an ongoing reflection of your inner state. If you've been neglecting your emotional and spiritual health, that will show up in the holograph of your body as imbalance, symptoms, and pain. You can either choose to heal or choose a Band-Aid pill that pushes these issues deeper under the surface until they erupt volcanically at a later stage. Or just go fuck yourself and have better orgasms. Again, your choice. Number 4, this part's so fascinating to me, the programming. The amount of programming out there targeting women at ever earlier stages is shocking. Since it's true that menopausal women are allopathic medicine's biggest and most gullible cash cows, it makes sense that big pill poppers would want to cash in even earlier. If they can keep this narrative going anywhere and everywhere, weaving it into all forms of media, hiring actors, doctors, and wellness morons. I'm looking at you, Gary fucking Brecka, in shows and on social media to further the cause and keep building the narrative, then they will. I cannot think of any 50-something actresses who haven't taken up the HRT torch. If they're no longer getting paid to act, then they can get paid to whine about how shitty their lives are and how dry their vaginas are and how they were saved by HRT. From Naomi Watts to Halle Berry, Drew Barrymore, and even Gwyneth Paltrow, and that fucking bitch Oprah, the list goes on. HRT is their Lord and Savior. It's the new side hustle for the Hollywood whores of Babylon. The menopause and perimenopause lie is even getting its own narrative arc in movies and television. Going from a time of never hearing a word uttered about it, now you can't stop hearing about it. I was watching an Apple TV show called Your Friends and Neighbors. Amanda Peet plays the ex-wife of John Hamm. It's in its second season, and they decided to give Amanda Peet's character, a 40-something divorced woman, an entire perimenopause storyline. She's portrayed as suffering from a dry, non-responsive, dead-on-arrival vagina, having hot flashes, stupidity, cluelessness, and overall being exceptionally cringe and uncouth. The second episode of the season features a segment that looks like it was scripted directly by a drug company. It actually names a specific vaginal treatment, and it tells us how safe and effective hormone therapy is. Yeah, dude, it's like totally safe. Here is the excerpt.
I went on a date this last week, and my lady that's, I don't know how to talk about this. I think it's normal, but oh, you bitch, you're just starting perimenopause. So, right? Because I can't sleep. I'm sweating constantly, like just drenched. You're glowing. I can't focus on my writing, which could just be because I suck at writing. But I help.
Do hormone replacement therapy.
Just like that?
It's totally safe.
I don't know.
You might feel differently when you start punching random people in the face.
What do you mean?
It happens. You will feel the urge to murder people. I tried to strangle my brother at a barbecue.
Why?
No reason. It's a personal choice.
So either take hormones or count myself out sexually from here until forever?
No, of course not.
So many more people I want to have sex with.
You could do the Mona Lisa touch.
The Mona.
It's a laser treatment to prevent vaginal atrophy.
Oh, yeah. Vaginal.
Yeah, it helps with the dryness. It promotes collagen growth. It's expensive, but you can happily fuck your way into your 70s. It just requires more maintenance. Call my guy, I'm telling you.
Vaginal
atrophy.
Oh.
He'll fix you right up.
But it gets even better. Her storyline throughout the entire season involves, are you ready for it? Literal shit. For 8 solid episodes, her main character arc is that she steps in dog shit every fucking day. I shit you not. I kid you not. Her entire plot line revolves around shit. So it's fucking unbelievable. And then in episode 7, she falls into a porta potty and she wanders around covered in shit and blue liquid, because we need this metaphor driven home even harder that her life is literally shit. Middle-aged women and menopause are shit. In the shit, it's a life of shit, daily shit, covered in shit, it's all shit. And so what is the moral of the story? It's that Mel, the character, did not take her HRT. She had refused. And so, therefore, her life is total and complete nonstop shit. The other women around her were dutifully taking their HRT, and if only she had taken it too, then her life also could have been amazing. But instead, it's shit. Then you contrast her shit life with her ex-husband, a very doughy, fat-looking John Hamm, who's having a full rebirth despite being a fucking doughboy in his midlife. He's banging the hottest MILF in the neighborhood, and then he's banging the hottest billionairess on the yacht, and a not-so-hot, but 25 years younger underling in his office. So it's good times for John Hamm, but it's shit times for perimenopausal and irritating as fuck Amanda Peet. I can't even, the ludicrousness and the obviousness of this. I've had actually many a woman come to me and tell me about this. They've seen the show and told me about it because it's so obvious what they're doing here that, I mean, look, maybe they're in my area of the world, my genre of the world, and so they're a little bit more savvy about things. Maybe there's other women going out there, oh, thank God, they're finally recognizing us and telling our story. This is programming. This is exactly what it looks like. A few months ago, when I posted on my Instagram about how I don't take HRT, an onslaught of underfucked orcs swarmed my page, totally offended that I know how to be a woman and that I know how to live in a female body without needing drugs. Just cock. I talked about this in the episode Underfucked Orcs versus Kim Anami, Season 8, Episode 6. And of course, I always win. Who the fuck doesn't win against these NPC motherfuckers? So all these rabid NPCs are coming at me, foaming at the mouth, yelling things like, just wait till your vagina falls off. Just wait till your libido is gone. Bitch, I haven't had a period in over 6 years. My vagina is not only just fine, but it's one of the most famous and well-performing, high-performing vaginas in the world. So fuck off. Instead of ever asking what I and the legions of women who follow my work might be doing different, they just get mad at me because I know how to live in a female body. More specifically, I know how to live, love, fuck, and orgasm in a female body. And that's my secret. Not only does that balance all of my hormones, constantly generate new ones, and all the ones I need, but it also makes me impervious to the kind of programming that makes you hate yourself and feel like you are a victim and a powerless inhabitant and a passive inhabitant of your own body. But these NPC orcs are brimming with all the buzzwords and all the symptoms. They know them all by heart. They can recite the whole peri-meno playbook by memory. They've created these massive orc gangs and armies running around the internet, showing each other their hormone patches and their buckets of lube and thinking it's somehow liberating to talk about how dry their vaginas are, instead of talking about all the cool shit they could be putting in their vaginas, like cock, like jade eggs. In cock we trust. In cock I trust, at least. The whole wine mom, and I mean WHINE plus WINE, wine mom ethos isn't liberating, it's embarrassing. And I say that because they were so easily swindled, like a grandma falling for a Nigerian scammer. They bought the Kool-Aid and the victim consciousness and the easy way out. That isn't actually an easy way out. It's a detour and a trap. Instead of claiming their own power, they've given every last ounce of it away. Number 5, the biggest reason and the one that if remedied could wipe out all the other factors is she's underfucked. I have worked with tens of thousands of women through my programs over the years. Women have gone off their HRT and had 0 symptoms return. Others have never gone on it. Why? When they boost their own hormone production through their sexual activity, they have 0 need for exogenous hormones. Why would they? How does it even make any sense that they would need that? You have your very own hormone factory. It's called your body, and specifically your sexual expression. If you are having regular and life-changing, this second part is very important, sex, you will not need drugs. Your arousal and your orgasms will generate it all for you. But it has to be the deeper vaginal orgasms. The inferior, paltry, tip of the iceberg, good for a warm-up, but not the main event. Clitoral orgasm is not going to take you there. You get the biggest hormonal and neurotransmitter payload through your vaginal orgasms, G-spot, squirting, and cervical. Massive oxytocin production. Remember what we said about oxytocin? It wipes out your cortisol. DMT is generated through cervical orgasms, also called the God molecule. No need to run off down to Peru. You'll be fine in your bed. Vagus nerve regulation happens at the most superior level through cervical orgasms. Your breath work and your cold plunges don't even come close. I mean, cute pastime, but I'd rate them a 1 out of 10 on the scale of nervous system resets. Cervical orgasms, I would rate a 15. You get heart and crown chakra activation as well through your cervical orgasms, opening you up emotionally and spiritually, which hones your intuition, your psychic energy, the gifts of vision, which are really what you're meant to be accessing continually as a woman in a female body who has a womb that is accessing other dimensions of consciousness all the time. If you do not drug yourself stupid and cut off the ability to connect to these other dimensions. All this and more through having vaginal orgasms and raw dogging it, meaning you're not taking Midol and hormones and whatever else. You are keeping these channels pure and open to connect to interdimensional states of consciousness. All of this means a complete hormonal reset, reconfiguration, and high-level production factory, elite factory, to the point where women now operate with their own sovereign hormonal ecosystem. This is what you're meant to do. Well-fucked women do not get this manufactured experience of menopause and perimenopause, nor do they get difficult periods and crazy PMS or cysts and growths and endometriosis and PCOS, this laundry list of reproductive imbalances. No, they fuck them all away. Your best healing medicine is accessing your own sexual life force energy. It is the ultimate cure-all. Even when women have these other factors at play, they've been on birth control hormones for decades, they're stressed, they've had a buildup of unresolved issues and unexamined trauma. All of this can be remedied through being well fucked. I have seen this over and over for decades. Nothing heals you faster and harder than going faster and harder in bed, and slower and softer. The main thing is you take your medicine every day. You go deep. In Anami Land, the only sex that matters, the only sex that counts is of the gourmet variety, where you are all in, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You open, you surrender. When all parts of you are seen and adored and you get fucked open on the most raw, vulnerable, and primal level, this is where your healing lives. You need it fucked out of the depths of your being. Then you can heal anything. And menopause and perimenopause become exactly what they were meant to be. Urban myths, cop-outs for people too terrified of their own beings and what it means to have an orgasm that changes your life. And fair enough, it's not for the faint of heart. You need to be courageous to fully surrender, jump over the cliff of where these transcendent, life-changing orgasms take you, and do it every day. Fuck superfoods and breathwork and ice baths and just fuck instead, or gourmet fuck. The Well Fucked Woman Salon is coming soon. This is my consummate class for women on how to live, love, and vaginally orgasm and skip over these manufactured states of meno brainwashing. And instead, stay awake all night getting your pussy eaten and seeing God through your ass and via your cervix. Come to kimanami.com/wet and sign up for my free video series on the life-changing power of vaginal orgasms. And get on the wait list to be notified of when we open the Well Fucked Woman Salon in the next month. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and send somebody else the gift of a multi-orgasmic and transformational love life by sharing this episode with them. If you'd like to go deeper into all things orgasms, sign up for my free Orgasmopedia series, where you'll learn about 9 different types of orgasms everyone can have. Go to kimanami.com and you'll see the sign up there. Come one, come all.